Are you ready for a new interactive dining experience? The creator of Tenacious Eats joins us in the kitchen today to talk about how she combines her two passions, food and film.
And if you're pregnant or hope to be, you'll want to find out what the CEO of the Clayton Sleep Institute has to say about sleeping and pregnancy.
And the hot summer months are just as brutal for pets as they are for us. We'll have some heat tips and more from the city's Animal Care and Control.
All that and more coming up on this edition of St. Louis Presents. How quickly this summer has already gone by. I know I sound like my mother now. Where did the time go? But here we are. It's almost time for the kids to go back to school already. Yeah, it's
going a little too fast for me. I'm not really a fan of the super duper heat, but then I'm not really excited about the winter that's like right around the corner.
You remember when you were a kid and the summer lasts forever? Boy, those days are gone.
They are, yes. Wow. Well, we're going to talk about some fun things that folks can do because Tenacious Eats is really an interesting way for if you like movies and you like food. They take really popular movies and then they build a menu around it. So you eat these great foods that have something to do with the movie while you're watching the movie with your friends.
That's what's really neat. And today we're going to do it with Caddyshack. And believe it or not, if I saw Caddyshack, I don't remember it. So.
Yeah, I haven't seen it at all.
I think you've seen it, right? You are the only two people I think I have ever met in my life who have not seen
I've
Caddyshack.
heard of it, I just haven't had the chance to watch it.
It's about golf, right?
It is. Well, yes. It's probably one of the most quoted movies of all time. Also, I don't know if you guys see this, but when we have our person from the Animal City Control Department on, when sometimes I'm in a parking lot and I see somebody with their dog in the car and the windows rolled up, I freak out and I don't know what to do. I actually sat in my car one time for about 15 minutes and just waited to see how long it would take for the owner to come and was debating, do I call the police? Do I break the window?
I would have gone in the store and had them paged because you can't do that.
It is really, really sad and scary.
I liberated a dog once that was tied with a short rope to a tree in the heat for hours and hours. I couldn't take it anymore, so I sort of took the law into my own hands.
Yeah, you have to.
Well, we're going to we'll talk about that. We'll talk about food. We'll talk about sleep. Sleep is one of my favorite things. But an interesting diversion here. The Nascar Diversity Development team was recently in town, and our cameras were able to catch up with them and learn some of the techniques used by the pit crews. So check it out.
The search has begun. NASCAR wants more minorities and women to get behind the wheel and compete at the highest level. NASCAR's Drive for Diversity parked their fast cars in the parking lot of the Muni on June 12, 2014 and put on a Combine Expo for the area youth. NASCAR wants more minorities and women to be a part of the pit crew and be the new generation of race car drivers. Phil Horton, NASCAR's Drive for Diversity, says that the pit crew needs to be fast, strong, and agile.
Well, basically, we have a show car, an actual running race car, and then we're going to that they can look at and hear it run and things like that. And then we have a combine where we're going to actually test some of the local athletes to see if they have what it takes to be a pit crew. We're trying to just spread the word out to minorities, out to African Americans, out to Hispanics, out to men, women. You know, we're just letting them know that NASCAR is wide open. It's a sport where you can come in. It's one of the few sports where you can still come in and, you know, not be one of the superstars, but be an individual that can work in the sport and make money. Pit crewmen make about six-figure salaries once they make reach the Sprint Cup level.
I'm here for the races. I came in early today just to be here for the combine, to see it, to see the response, and it's excellent to see how many folks came out from the area to take a chance and to come see what we do. And I'm here for the truck race on Saturday night, which starts at about 7, and looking forward to that too. We're happy to be back in the St. Louis market.
Next time you get a chance to do this, you need to come because it's fun.
NASCAR encourages minorities and women that are selected to participate in the Combine, and they will be notified in the fall. Applications are open now until August 15, 2014, so go on and apply now. For STL TV, I'm Taylor Jones.
Okay, I don't know about you, Steve, but watching all that pit crew work has me feeling a little hungry. I'm kind of excited about what's going on today here.
Well, I'd rather be in a kitchen than a car any day. They don't usually have food in a car. But I want you to meet Liz Schuster from Tenacious Eats, and it's a really interesting concept that we'll talk about in a minute. Welcome to the show, Liz.
Thank you for having me. Thank you both.
I was curious about the name of your business, Tenacious Eats. You know, tenacious was one of those words that I thought I knew what it meant. I use it, but I really don't know what it means, so I looked it up today.
I see you're one of those people.
I went to the, yes. I use words all the time that I don't know, but I went to Merriam-Webster, and tenacious means tending to hold fast, not easily pulled apart.
Okay.
So how does that relate to your business?
Well, actually, tenacity to me means holding fast. You know, a lot of cooks kind of think our lives are parallel to that of pirates, culinary pirates. So hold fast is really important to most chefs, those two words. So tenacity is for us, it's moxie. It's not only, you know, holding fast and staying the course. Staying the course was my bizarre idea of combining food and film.
Let's talk about that theme, because this is new to me. Food and film.
Yes, what's the concept behind it all?
Well, you know, to me it's very easy to explain. You watch a film with food in it, you want what you see on film, correct? What I'm trying to do is satiate the viewer's appetite, not to be a part of the film, to be a part of the narrative.
So what you do is you sort of host a movie and a dinner. So you do this at a particular place? Or?
We have had a normal location, but over the next couple months, we're actually working on our own permanent Tenacious Eats restaurant.
Oh, that'll be neat.
Yeah, that'll be really fun. Not a normal restaurant. So until then, we're going to be operating as a pop-up. We're going to be showing up all over the city, doing what we do in a really kind of crazy, bizarre way. Our first film that we're showing for our film series called Ramus-O-Rama, in honor of Harold Ramis.
Okay. Right. Who just passed away.
Who just passed away, who went to WashU. Go WashU.
Yeah.
So he went to WashU, and he's, you know, a big part of St. Louis culture and film. So the film Caddyshack, and I can't believe the two of you haven't seen it.
Yeah, we haven't seen it.
It's about golf, I hear.
It's about golf.
Go on us for that.
But see, here's the thing I don't think we brought out, Sandy. It's a really interesting concept where she tailors the menu to the theme of the movie or the storyline of the movie.
Five-course meal, correct?
Yeah, I wouldn't even say tailor. It's part of the film.
Okay.
Like a film like Caddyshack really doesn't have a whole lot of food in it. Sometimes my menus are literal. Like if we've done Julie and Julia in honor of Julia Child's birthday, 2 years in a row. This year will be our 3rd annual showing. That film was just Julia's food.
Okay.
In fact, I even footnoted our menu to show what page you could find that in Julia's wonderful cookbook. And then some films, it's just what a character says. If somebody says something really funny.
What you're doing here, you're making one of the courses that you would have made for Caddyshack. So how does this relate to Caddyshack?
Smells amazing.
The beginning of the film Caddyshack just cracks me up. Anybody who's seen it, they quote it constantly, so I warn you, after you've seen the film, you're going to start quoting it all the time. But the beginning of the film, the main groundskeeper is Scottish, and he has a very thick accent. And he sees this gopher just tearing up the whole golf course. And he screams at Bill Murray, who plays his junior groundskeeper, you know, in this really thick accent to kill all the gophers, but it comes out sounding like kill all the golfers. So that's the name of our first course. Okay. So our first course is, I took a traditional Yorkshire pudding, which is a very kind of popular Scottish, Irish, English breakfast dish. And what we've done right here in the pan, I've sauteed a little bit of house-made chorizo sausage, sweet onions, corn, a little bit of cumin. And then what I'm going to do here on this side, Yorkshire is very easy dish. It sounds like it's really extravagant, I know, but it's a very simple dish. All I'm doing is, this is so easy to remember, it's an equal ratio of milk, eggs, and flour.
That works.
That's it.
I can
That's
do that.
it. The trick is letting it sit overnight like a good crepe batter. You don't want it. You don't want to use it right away because it's going to have some lumpy lumps. But I've got this ready to go. As soon as I have all of my eggs in, I made a well in the flour and another little note.
So this is the finished product over
That
here.
is the
what you're making now.
what we're making now.
This. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
You guys.
Well, let
You
me.
know, I was
let me
thinking-
taste it for you.
I was
over here.
thinking really quick while she's doing that, I was thinking, are there ever movies that are challenging coming up with food? Because I thought of a few, like what would you make for Pulp Fiction? Like
Pulp Fiction.
juice?
Wow, you gave her a
Juice?
challenge with that one.
Oh my gosh, there are 3
How about
burgers in
Planet
Pulp
of the
Fiction.
Apes?
Oh, Planet.
Banana pudding? But
I
here's
was
the
thinking banana
that's
burgers.
good.
Silence of the Lambs. If you can figure that one out, let me
We
know.
did Silence of the
No, you
Lambs.
did not.
Yes, we did. So I ate his liver with
I try?
fava beets and a nice Chianti. This was really
really
good.
good.
I made a Cholula hot sauce aioli, if you want to try that with it.
Sure.
And then we have fresh greens underneath.
That's amazing.
Can I use my fingers?
Oh, that's the best part. We have this weird phenomenon that happens for our shows. I don't know what it is, but people lick their plates
Oh, we like that.
in our movies. I've seen men.
I'm not going to do that on camera.
Yeah,
but-
please don't do that.
But a little bit of avocado
That's
on the
good.
plate. Yeah, just a little bit of,
That's really, really good.
yeah, a little bit of fresh manchego over the top.
I'm gonna try
I'm
it
starting to
with
like golf.
this. We need to see Caddyshack to appreciate this truly.
So what's new for you?
So I'm working on my menu. Sometimes, like you said, Silence of the Lambs, that movie wrote itself. The difficult part is not just the food in the film, but finding when to put that course in, because I'm trying to, in a standard length film, serve a course every 15 to 20 minutes. So it isn't just about, oh, there's some food here, this is an idea. It has to be well-timed, well-executed.
Excuse me, Sandy.
Lord.
Oh, he likes avocados. He
And
told me he was
unfortunately, we're out
hungry.
of time, but I can keep
Yes.
eating, can I?
Yes.
We're going to go ahead and continue to eat, and thank you so much
Thank
for
you for
being
having
here
us.
so
Thanks,
much.
Liz.
Thank you.
And
Thank
of course,
you.
check them out at tenaciouseats.com if you
That's
want to
correct.
find out where they're going to be
That's
next.
correct.
And we're going to go check out and see what's going on with Debbie in the den.
Well, Debbie's mouth is watering because it smells so good in here. But we're going to change topics just a bit. Maybe after the show we can get some food ourselves. But a very serious issue during pregnancy. Most women believe that sleeplessness and difficulty breathing are simply discomforts related to being pregnant. But my next guest says these symptoms can actually be signs of pregnancy-related complications. Joining me is the founder of the Clayton Sleep Institute, Dr. Joseph Ogile. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Debbie. Glad to be here.
It's no fun, of course, being vastly pregnant in the middle of the summer to begin with, and with all the heat and humidity, but I imagine a lot of women just assume that if they're having trouble sleeping or they're having trouble breathing that, oh, it's just, one of those things that comes with pregnancy. But at what point do you think that women should actually seek some help for that or have some testing done?
Well, earlier rather than later. Breathing and sleeping both. We look at things like asthma. About 8% of ladies will have difficulty with asthma in pregnancy. Most of them have had asthma prior to pregnancy. If you look at sleep disruptions, over 2/3 of women will have some complaint of disruption during sleep. It isn't always breathing related. What is coming out now is that when you look at large databases, there was a large study just done looking at undiagnosed sleep apnea and pregnancy outcomes. The outcomes are reduced. There's more complications, morbidity, sort of the burden of illness, and possibly mortality related to undiagnosed sleep apnea in pregnancy. So some of the pregnancy complications in sleep are sleep apnea, the breathing pipe collapsing or blocking your breathing pipe with sleep, leg movements or restless leg syndrome type symptoms with sleep, and also there's just positional issues related to sleep, the discomfort, and as pregnancy goes on, the difficulty lying on a person's back. When they should seek help, certainly professional help, is throughout pregnancy they should be talking to their physicians, their OB, their primary care doctor. But if they start noticing they're waking up at night, gasping or choking, if they've been pregnant before, they have a good handle on this. Their symptoms of sleepiness are getting worse during the day. Their blood pressure starts to rise, which will be of concern. Or they have a spouse or bed partner who's telling them, hey, you're not breathing right at night. There's something funny going on. You're gasping, you're choking, you're pausing. That person should be evaluated.
Definitely. And I imagine, just aside from the pregnancy issue, one of the first things a sleep disorder specialist like yourself would recommend if somebody has sleep apnea is to lose weight, right? Because excess weight is going to increase that. So here you are pregnant and you're gaining all this weight. So do you often find that the sleep apnea is exacerbated during pregnancy, or can it develop just during pregnancy and then go away?
You're right on the point. It's both of those things. Sleep apnea is driven by high-risk anatomy, so the way that your throat was constructed from the day you were born, and then you couple onto that either excess weight from non-pregnancy issues or the increased weight and increased blood flow to the neck and face, which make that worse. And they cause the throat to get more narrow and expose that sleep apnea, which will only get worse as the pregnancy continues, and those things get more dramatic.
And one of the other things, too, aside from the sleep apnea, is we are one of the worst cities in the country for asthma and allergies. Is asthma something that somebody can just develop during a pregnancy, or is it usually something that has already been there but could get worse?
Well, sure, you've got several aspects. One, with this time of year especially, you've got congestion in the nose and sinuses, which can cause a person to have sleep apnea even worse. As far as asthma goes, people that either have had asthma before, about a third of them, their asthma will get worse during pregnancy. In addition, they may not have had asthma before pregnancy, but given the current season and the pregnancy, they could have asthma symptoms only during pregnancy. The great news is that the medicines we use to treat asthma are very safe in pregnancy. It is a completely treatable phenomenon, and it doesn't put them at higher risk going forward if they just get it treated correctly. So we're really enjoy and are passionate about treating these pregnant women with both asthma and sleep disorders.
Now, is this kind of a new segment of sleep disorder study and research and treatment? Because it seems pretty specialized just for pregnant women.
It is. The asthma component is not new. It's been around for many years and decades. The sleep component is indeed kind of just starting to spring up as we're getting enough research heft. Money's starting to come in to study some of the aspects of pregnancy. We've been looking and trying to get interest ramped up in pregnant women in sleep for about 10 to 15 years, and now some of that information is starting to come out and giving us the ability to intervene. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, you know, being a person who has to get up in the middle of the night for work, generally, I love sleeping. So this is definitely something that people should not ignore if they feel like they're exhausted in the morning, or, you know, they're with a partner who snores or, like you said, chokes or gags all night. That is definitely a sign. So pregnant ladies, talk to your OBGYN, and Dr. Joseph Ogile, you have a lot of answers as well in Clayton.
Thank you very much.
Well, thanks for the tips, and we appreciate it. When we come back, we're going to talk more about pets and how you should take care of them during the summer, plus all kinds of great ideas for taking care of your pets, especially low cost and free ways to do that. So thank you for the time. We'll be back with more pet information after this break.
The odds of this daughter of a clergyman spending 11 weeks at #1 on the U.S. singles charts? 1 in 19 million. The odds of going on to win 6 Grammy Awards? 1 in 1.4 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 110. I'm Toni Braxton, and I encourage you to learn the signs of autism at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome back to St. Louis Presents. Well, now that we are in the dog days of summer, it's important to remember to not only take care of ourselves in this heat, but our pets as well.
Our next guest has some important tips for keeping pets safe and healthy in the extreme heat.
Public Information Officer Stacy Zellen is with us, and she has some heat tips as well as information on some great spay and neuter programs being offered by the city's Animal Care and Control. Thanks for being with us, Stacy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, we were talking at the beginning of the show, so let's start it off with this, because the heat, you know, if your dog or cat is going to be outside, they can only be outside for a certain amount of time. Right. You know, when it's a 100-degree heat index, it's not good for them. But I honestly did sit in a parking lot with my kids in the car for 10, 15 minutes because there was a dog in the car next to us and the windows were rolled up, and I didn't really quite know what to do. So I just was going to wait for the, whoever it was to come back. And
I would have reported them.
Give them what
I
for.
wouldn't have touched the car, but I would have gone inside wherever it was and probably had them paged or something. You know what I mean? Just so we don't cause any issue. But what would you recommend would be a good remedy for that?
Well, a lot of people aren't aware just how dangerous having a pet, whether it's a cat or a dog, in a hot car can be. They can very quickly start to suffer from heat-related illness, or possibly they can die from it. So it is very serious, and we definitely want people to know it's never okay to leave your pet in a parked car. Even if you're just going to run in somewhere for a few minutes, the message is leave your dog at home. If you do come across a situation like that, we really recommend that you get in touch with law enforcement as soon as possible. We really don't want you to take matters into your own hands. You could get in trouble yourself, and we don't want you doing something illegal. But what you can do is, like you said, maybe run in and see if they can try to page the owner, and definitely get the information on the vehicle if that's something that we can use later.
So is it normal for law enforcement to get those types of calls? That's something that I wouldn't assume that they'd be on standby for.
I'd say especially, here we have not just hot weather, but we also have extreme hot weather.
Sure.
So I'd say in St. Louis, that's something that I'm sure they commonly get.
Well, taking care of a dog, you have dogs, I have a dog.
Two Pomeranians.
Yeah, it can get expensive, and certainly in this economy, a lot of people are facing a lot of challenges, paying for things for their own human family members. But there are a lot of low-cost options for people, correct? If they, are hesitant to get their dog or cat spayed or neutered because they think, it's going to be so much money. I was really surprised to find out how many different kinds of programs there are.
Absolutely. We are really proud of the partnerships that we have in this region, one of them being the Carroll House Quick Fix Pet Clinic, and that's a place that we can refer any resident to for low-cost services. Now, there's a few really special programs going on right now. One is through a program called Bark, and they offer a free fix for your pit bull or pit bull mix if you can show proof of low income status or that you're on some sort of financial assistance. And what we're contributing to incentivize people to come in and take advantage of that deal is the first 50 city residents that come in and sign up, they actually get a $10 gift card to Schnucks.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
So it's a win-win.
It is.
Complete win.
We really want people to come in and take advantage of the services.
Let's talk about cats for a moment, because I live in South City, and we have a lot of cats that kind of roam the neighborhood, and I know some of them do belong to people who let their cats roam and then they come in at night, but feral cats are a big issue, and I know that some communities have instituted different programs for feral cats where they will actually sterilize them and then they release them again, so at least they're not making more feral cats. And other people go, well, that's a stupid thing. Why would you do that to a stray cat? But what's your take on that? And does the city have a program like that?
We work with a task force. We refer to them as the TNR task force, and they're this wonderful group of volunteers that are really experts in doing TNR, which stands for trap, neuter, and return. So if we get a complaint, we try to address feral cats first by a TNR approach. Like you said, in general, people don't mind having the cats around. Sometimes they even perform wonderful rodent control for some communities. So it's definitely a humane approach versus, historically what would happen, which could have been catch and kill. So we're really happy to be working with people in that program, and we've gotten amazing feedback from the citizens of St. Louis.
Okay, now, we're talking also about the heat and that kind of thing.
Yes.
Are there any tips you can give to those of us who do have animals that relate to the heat, how to protect them outside of not putting them in the car, giving them lots of water? Is there anything that we don't know anything about?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, if it's too hot for you, it's really too hot for our pets. So best practice, bring them inside with you. If you have air conditioning, it's just as important for them as it is for you to kind of take a break from that heat. Now, if your animal is outside, we definitely recommend that they have adequate access to shelter, to water, definitely a good source of shade. But sometimes what can happen is, let's say that your pet is outside and it has shade, it has its bowl of water, and you say, okay, well, the dog is good for a while, and you walk away. Well, the sun moves throughout the day, so that shade that you saw your pet under could not be there in an hour, and so that could create a dangerous situation. And the same thing, if you put water bowls out, if it's a bowl that's above the ground and the dog walks by it or steps in it and it topples over, then they're without a water source. So, it seems like a simple enough tip to provide those things, but it is something you do want to pay attention to just to make sure that your pet stays safe.
Well, sadly, there are some people who are quite mean to animals and should not have them, and a lot of animals end up in our shelters, and I know that there is a partnership the city has with Stray Rescue. My dog is a Stray Rescue adoptee. She's fantastic. She's just a wonderful family pet. So that is still ongoing. There are plenty of animals in the city, dogs and cats, for people to adopt.
Absolutely. We have a shelter full of adoptable animals, and our adoption process is actually facilitated through Stray Rescue. So you're welcome to either come into our shelter, you can contact Stray Rescue first if you see a dog online, or any animal. If you see an animal online that you're interested in, you can work with them first.
There's Duchess and Giggles.
Giggles. I love that name. I love that. Oh.
You know, I really do feel like rescue dogs know that you're rescuing them.
Absolutely.
And there's just like that added level of loyalty, which is wonderful. Look at all those sweet little faces.
They're so adorable. It's like, I can't take any more animals though, but you know, I would.
So how many animals have you taken home with you? Because that I would never be able to do what you do. I'd want to bring them all home.
I have 2 animals right now, so you're and they've been really wonderful, and it's just been a wonderful experience. It's a great thing to have a pet, so we really encourage people to not only become pet owners, but to become responsible pet owners.
Well, we have lots of information. I know you have a lot of information online for people to get information about adoptable pets or any of the tips that we talked about today, and some of the places to go online, facebook.com/acc.stl, also on Twitter at LostDogSTL, and of course accstl.com is where you can find that online. So Stacey, Zellen, thanks so much for all the work that you do and taking care of the animals in St. Louis City, and thanks for being with us today.
Thank you very much. It was great.
All right, we've got some news to get to, and Steve Potter has that for us.
Thanks. And you know, there was a movie shot in St. Louis this summer about a rescue dog, Marshall the Miracle Dog, so you might want to check that out later. The National Weather Service estimates that the odds of being struck by lightning in your lifetime are 1 in 10,000. And there is a 1 in 1,000 chance that you'll know someone struck by lightning. So stay safe by seeking shelter indoors or inside an enclosed hardtop vehicle. Avoid electrical outlets and coded devices, as well as water and other objects that can conduct electricity. Now, if someone is struck by lightning, call 911 and care for them immediately. And remember that you're not in danger of being electrocuted by the victim. For more information and tips on lighting safety, visit safeelectricity.org. If you find yourself downtown on a Wednesday around lunchtime, be sure and stop by City Garden for some musical entertainment. The City Garden Summer Concert Series is free and features a variety of music every Wednesday from 11:45 until 12:45 through August the 20th. Rain dates are scheduled for the following Fridays. Check out the City Garden website for a list of musicians and their scheduled dates. And nearly 63% of people living in the city of St. Louis are overweight or obese. In an effort to reach its goal of reducing obesity by 5% by 2018, the city has launched Jump Into Shape. The Jump Into Shape website offers fitness and nutrition tips and all of the tools that you need to take part in this free regional weight loss challenge. If you're ready to register or if you're looking for more information, visit jumpintoshape.com. Tying 2 of these stories in together, going back to that safe electricity story, the odds of being struck by lightning are 1 in 10,000. And you may not know this, those are also the odds for most of us to lose weight by 2018. So just a weird coincidence there.
Well, I think we covered all of my favorite things today: food, sleep, and dogs. So we're done.
We did it all.
Well, I want to thank you all for joining us on this episode of St. Louis Presents.
It's been great. Thanks for coming. Join us next time.
Right. And of course, check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We're everywhere. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.